Have you ever been speaking French and wondered, what does my accent sound like to real French people? Probably not, but I made an application that can answer that question anyways. Hello, my name is Vivian, and this is my French accent scorer. Here's a basic overview of the algorithm. The inputs are a set of two recordings. One is of a native French speaker speaking a set of sentences. This recording is treated as a ground truth. We assume the native French speaker has a 100% accurate accent. The other recording is from a foreign French speaker reading the same set of sentences. This is scored by comparing it against the native French speaker's recording. The comparison is made through 4 stages. In the pre-processing stage, noise is reduced, the recordings are parsed into words, and the frequency spectra of these words are created. The flow stage determines how smoothly the foreign speaker is reading the French sentences. This is calculated by comparing the amount of empty space in and the lengths of the audio files between the native and French speakers. The consonant stage determines how well the foreign speaker pronounces consonants. In general, consonants in French are spoken very softly, with more energy, but in many other languages they're pronounced with more strength, very impulse-like, and with less energy. So we can produce a score by comparing the average consonant energies for the native and foreign speakers. The vowel stage produces a vowel score, which indicates how well the foreign speaker pronounces vowels. This is based around vowel formants. Each vowel has specific formants, which are peaks in the frequency spectrum. The most significant are the first and the second peaks, and their locations can tell us which vowel is being spoken or how it's being pronounced. Take, for example, the vowel E in this word.
Culturellement.
Notice how this native French speaker pronounces it more like an O.
Mon.
Now listen to the way a foreign speaker, with no experience in French, pronounces it.
Culturellement.
This is very different, more of an S sound. The blue frequency spectrum is for this vowel spoken by the native French speaker. The red is for the foreign speaker. We can see that for 2 different pronunciations, the formants are in different places. We can take advantage of this by first finding the first and second formants for each word in the native speaker's recording and in the foreign speaker's recording. Then we can find the percentage overlap in the first formants of the native and foreign speakers and the percentage overlap in the second formants of the native and foreign speakers. That's how the vowel score is produced. The final score is a weighted sum of the vowel, consonant, and flow scores. In order to confirm that this algorithm works, I ran it on recordings from volunteers of varying experiences in French. These volunteers were compared against either low or high-pitched native speakers, depending on the pitches of their own voices. They also self-reported how long they've been learning French. Some things to note about this table. Volunteer E was asked to record random sentences in English, and a high score here indicates a more accurate French accent. In general, the algorithm does well with scoring volunteers in the order that we would expect based on their experiences. But these aren't absolute scores. We can't conclude that Volunteer 1 is only a C-grade speaker. We can only say that Volunteer 1 scores the best out of all the other volunteers. To be able to give them an absolute score of accuracy, we would need to curve the interpretation of the data in some way based on results from a larger data set. So that's how my French accent score works and how well it works. Thanks for watching!